All right, guys, welcome to Freaking Epic Podcast. What's up? What's up, John?
Hello, hello.
Today's segment is a segment we call What You Thinking, John? So, we're going to ask the eternal question that great minds have pondered throughout history. Socrates, Plato, Aristotle, Diogenes the dog, Pythagoras, I'm just naming Greek philosophers. They have all wanted to know throughout the depths of history. What you thinking, John?
All right, so this week I'm thinking about, and I have been thinking about this pretty much as soon as we stopped talking about the last podcast. If you could design a Pokemon gym, I don't care about the typing of said gym because that's kind of, I know that you don't know, any of the Pokemon past the original 150 something.
Yeah, and it's been a long time since I played the original. It's probably like 10 years. I played a little bit of Pokemon Go. I played for like
Right.
the same 3 months that or 2 or 3 months that everyone else played before they realized it was a grindy, boring game. It's awesome, but grindy and boring.
Right. But if you could design a gym, so like what kind of puzzle would you have and like what kind of trainers would you fill your gym with?
Okay.
Because all of the gyms always have a trope or a puzzle or a trope or something that makes it difficult for trainers.
Yeah.
When I say difficult,
explain that to people.
Say again?
Explain that to people.
So, for example, in the first game, there was a Pokemon gym. I think it was Blaine, who was the 7th gym, that in order to progress through the gym, you had to talk to each of the trainers, and the trainers would give you a trivia question. And so if you got the answer right, you would be able to continue on farther into the gym. But if you got it wrong, you would have to battle the trainer, kind of thing.
Yeah. Okay. But you could beat him, so you could get through either way, right?
Yeah, I believe you got through either way. But it was either you fight the trainer or you don't fight the trainer, basically. And so it was just kind of a little puzzle of either grinding down your team or just blasting through to get to Blaine.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your answer? And I will answer. I have 2 different thoughts on this, and I will answer those after kind of we get a little bit of yours.
So my thought on it is that I had a couple different thoughts of what would be a cool gym because I am of the opinion that, yes, I know Pokemon is a kid's game, but it's also a lot of the people who play or the people who are playing since they're kids. So they're now my age because I'm 25. And so, but now as the games progress, like each new generation, it got easier and easier and easier because they're developing it for the kids today. So they're making it less challenging.
Yeah.
So this would be under the pretext that some new Pokemon game comes out and there's a hard mode.
Okay. So this is Dark Soulymon.
Well, no, not quite that brutal, but basically just the trainers actually have decent AI, I guess. And we'll make it a challenge into the point of where you can't just funnel all of the levels into a single Pokemon kind of thing. Because I know that's something that like a lot of people do is they just funnel all the levels into their starter and then get a bunch of different Pokemon so that way they can use like HMs and still fly. But in the later games, they even removed HMs, which is really annoying to me.
What's the HM? It's been a while.
So HMs are moves that let you interact with the world, but you can't. Yeah. So you teach it to one of your Pokemon, but they can't learn anything else. Well, correction, you can't get rid of that move.
Okay.
So like if a Pokemon levels up and learns a new move, the one that has the HM that you taught it, like if you teach the first HM you get is cut, so you can cut down trees. Yeah. But you can't remove cut anytime that Pokemon levels up.
Yeah.
And cut by itself, once you get to late game, is a horrible, horrible move.
Yeah. So you have to use it on like a Pidgeotto or something random. Yeah.
The term is HM slave. So basically, you pick a Pokemon that can learn all the HMs that you want.
So what you're saying is customer service representative. You put all your skills into customer service, and then you're stuck for the rest of your life working in customer service, and life's terrible.
Exactly. It's a level 3. Oh,
If you are a listener and you work in customer service, we apologize. Your life is worthwhile. Please don't do anything dumb because you're
I,
afraid that you're going to be stuck there for the rest of your life.
I understand your pain. I work in retail. I work at a Petco.
I worked at so many customer service places. I worked like Best Buy and Radio Shack and Mobile Solution, and like you can eventually get out of it, and not just to a call center. And if you work in a call center and like it, then you are amazing and more power to you. If you work in a call center and hate it, that's what I did. Then don't worry, it gets better.
Exactly. Anyways, back on topic. So basically, it just be the Pokemon trainers and things like that. They wouldn't be easy mode. They wouldn't use moves that are clearly not super effective against your Pokemon. Like they would actually try to beat you, kind of thing, and make it somewhat of a challenge.
Okay.
So my gym is under that same pretext of where it's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be like just kind of you walk through, you can skip the trainers if you want and go straight to the gym leader.
Yeah.
So the idea is that the theme is like a thieves guild.
Oh, so that's really cool.
Yeah, so either like, because every Pokemon game has a different team, which are the quote-unquote bad guys. So like the first 2 games had Team Rocket, and then there's like Team Magma, Team Aqua, Team Ocean, something along those lines. And so everyone has a team that is the bad guys throughout the game. Yeah. And so this would be a gym run by them, by the people who are actually stealing Pokemon.
That's a really cool idea. That's actually a cool idea for kind of a general plot too.
Yeah, and so what happens is that as you go through the gym, it's like just a blank grid that doesn't look like anything special. It's just, different squares. But as you are walking through, it's a maze. It's secretly a maze, and there are.
So it's kind of like Combat in the Atari, like that real old game where the walls were all kind of invisible.
Not necessarily. There aren't any walls, but there's a path that doesn't do anything bad to you. And so if you step on a certain tile, either one of your Pokemon gets taken.
Oh wow! By the end of it, are they fighting you? Like the big boss at the very end? This would be awesome. The big boss at the very end is fighting you with your Pokemon that he's stolen from you, and you get him back if you beat him.
Well, that's going to be the idea. Period. Is that the big boss fights against using your team?
That's cool.
And then, but so it's not like so you're not gimped because you suck at mazes, and so you no longer have any Pokemon. You have the chance to fight for your Pokemon back. Like that's how the trainers would be. So the different trainers that are in the gym, you have to fight them in order to get your Pokemon back.
Yeah.
But then there would be other tiles too, which would either steal money from you, because stealing money in a Pokemon game is actually really kind of painful.
Okay.
Because that's how you buy potions and Pokeballs and things. Or it would steal like your items that you have to fight a trainer to get back. And it wouldn't be any of the lame items.
You can't steal like your Master Ball or whatever.
No, it would steal like your Master Ball or something. You would be able to get it back, but you'd have to fight a tough trainer to get it back.
Yeah, that would be obnoxious, because then you're like, crap, I've got to level up all these different people.
And then I thought about there being spots where it permanently stole items, but it didn't steal like your important items like your Master Ball or any of your Pokeballs or things like that, but it stole all your like recovery items. So just flat out, you no longer have any potions. Or you no longer had any revives, and you would have to go buy them back, kind of thing.
That would be a really cool kind of last mission, I would think. Like,
oh yeah. This would be an end boss, like the 8th gym boss.
Yeah, that's kind of perfect. I would think like you would have 2 different modes, so you could have like easy mode, casual mode, or hard mode. And if you're on casual mode, anytime you leave the gym, you get all your stuff back. someone comes out and is like, we don't actually believe in theft. Here's all your stuff back.
Right.
The little kids games always have that that character like, well, we're pirates, but also we're good guys. So
Exactly. No. I built this gym based off of the hard mode pretext.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was my idea. The typing would either be dark types because
dark types.
I guess you know about, since you've only played the first 150 something, you know about the 3 new types that they added, right?
Wasn't there like dark and metal and
yes, dark, metal, and no, it was dark, steel, and fairy.
Dark, steel, and fairy. Okay, so they've only added 3 new types the whole time.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's not too bad. They're not adding it every week. I assumed they would have had 20 different new types or something.
No, they've only added 3 new types, and the fairy type only came around last generation.
Okay.
So there's a solid. So they introduced dark and steel in gold and silver, so the games after red and blue. But then there was a huge gap of 4 or 5 generations before they introduced the fairy type.
Yeah, they're not. I was just thinking okay, every gen we have to add 2 new ones. These are food Pokemon. They're all and their type is food. And these are hungry Pokemon. They eat food types, but they're weak to starvation type Pokemon. They're all
No. Oh my gosh, that would be so sweet, but no.
It's just an endless stream of rock, paper, scissors types.
Right. No. They've only added 3. But so dark type Pokemon are kind of, they're edgy Pokemon. That's the best way I could describe Pokemon. They're like edgelord Pokemon.
That is awesome. I mean, it seems kind of obvious, but does every one of them have an emo haircut with the hair over the eye, and they occasionally just flip it back
No, not quite. But here, look up. Are you at a computer right now?
Yes, I am.
All right, I want you to look up. This was the first dark type Pokemon they introduced. Look up Houndour and Houndoom, its evolution.
Houndour and Houndoom kind of tells me exactly what I need to know.
So it's a fire dark type.
So dual typing is a thing now.
Oh, it's always been a thing.
Was it a thing in the first one?
Yeah, Bulbasaur was poison grass.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's lots of dual type.
So what's the thing again?
Houndoom. So like hound, like dog, hound, and then
Houndoom. Okay.
And that is kind of the perfect example of just kind of all dark type Pokemon.
I'm excited for this to load up, and whenever it loads up. Okay, images. A quadruped canine Pokemon that is mainly black with a large orange snout. Oh, yep. That's yeah. It's a Doberman. It's it's a Doberman pinscher wearing a leather jacket.
And the horns and
the weird spine necklace and the ram's horns and the what's the term? The aggressive look in its eye.
Exactly. That's just kind of dark types in a nutshell. There are a couple kind of cute ones, but in the most recent games though, there's kind of the offshoot of it where it's a Lucha Libre. So the fire starter evolves into a fire dark type, and he is a Lucha Libre tiger.
Lucha Libre. Wait, what? Okay, I've got to look this up. And if you're listening, just Google these things when you get home. It's not called Lucha Libre Tiger, is it?
No. Oh my gosh, that would be so sweet for a name. But it's Incineroar. Okay, yeah, Incineroar. Oh man, that is
That looks like something out of Ultimate Muscle.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous. They added him to Smash Bros. Actually.
That I like that thing. It is complete and utter stupidity and nonsense. I like it. That
That's
is
just. But yeah, so
it looks like the fourth henchman of a new Dragon Ball Z thing. Like random henchman that dies like 2 episodes in to Krillin or something.
right. No, that's so perfect. But yeah, so the gym would be either dark type themes or ghost type themes, just whichever would fit with like thieves kind of thing.
Ghosts. It'd
Darker
be both.
ghosts. However, I did play with the idea of it being a steel type gym just because steel.
Oh. the boss would be the boss's opening line would be like, I bet you're wondering why this gym isn't steel type.
That would be so good. That's like perfect Pokemon level cheesiness, actually. Oh my gosh. All right. Let's hear what you got.
All right. So this one's not going to happen. I'm sad because it wouldn't go in a Pokemon game, but it'd have a Thanos themed gym. And every time you lost, 50% of your Pokemon were eliminated, just disappeared from the game.
That's so merciless. I love it. See that? Oh, that's what I was thinking about doing for the steel type gym, is that you couldn't get your Pokemon back ever. It was like, no, that'd be such a pain in the butt because like you'd have to grind up, say you lose all of your team. You're now left with like nothing, so you have to grind up a team from scratch.
Yeah. But you have access to different areas, so you can die easily because you can't catch anything.
Exactly. You just start all over.
But don't worry. There's a plan to beat it, and if Ant-Man climbs inside, gets shot inside of his butt and enlarges into Giant Man, then by the way, that's the conspiracy theory about how they're going to beat Thanos is just shoot.
What do you mean conspiracy theory? That's gonna happen. That is fact.
It's fact, yeah. That's the only possible way to beat him. And then if you have like a 50-50 chance of your character actually disappearing, and then your Pokemon sitting there by themselves going, I don't want you to leave. It's Stark, Mr. Stark.
That's okay. Okay, so what type would that be?
Oh, it would be mind and soul and reality type and power type and whatever the other two Infinity Stones are.
Time and
space, yeah.
Yeah.
It would be all 6 of those types. And it would also be spoilers, by the way, in case you haven't seen Avengers Infinity War, but if you haven't, it's made $2 billion, so like you know it's there. You're aware of it.
Yeah, at this point, there's nobody who doesn't know the plot of Infinity War one way or another.
But in order for the last like for you to get to the boss, you're fighting with the kind of the mini boss, and then the boss of the gym comes in and throws the mini boss off a cliff in order to complete his power.
Oh my gosh, that'd be so sweet. And he's just crying the entire time.
He's fighting you and crying. I'm doing this for the greater good. I don't understand many things in life, such as economics.
What greater good? You are dusting this poor 10-year-old child's pets in a Charles Darwin cockfighting simulator.
Charles Darwin Cockfighting Simulator was actually the original title for Pokemon, but they didn't feel like it would sell very well.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
That would be really like if someone just reskinned Pokemon and made it like a dogfighting ring game. That would be hilarious, but also horrible. Like you're not Ash, they just reskin it as Michael Vick, and you go through like.
Oh my gosh. All right. Getting it away from Michael Vick. Another idea I had would be for a pretty sweet fire gym, because I've been thinking about this, and there's not really been a lot of gyms where your Pokemon just passively get hurt. And so what it would be is it would be in a volcano.
Volcano. Oh yeah.
And so your trainer would have to walk through lava, and as you're walking through lava, like obviously your trainer is fine through plot armor reasons, but as you're walking through lava, your Pokemon are getting hurt as you are going through this gym.
Cool, it adds kind of it adds like an attrition factor, like do you have enough Pokemon to really survive this gym? Do you have enough strong ones? Whatever.
Yeah, and do you have enough potions?
Yeah.
Because I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy 3.
Okay.
Never played. In Final Fantasy, it's. No. That was the sounds of a Zach. I'm going to preach at you when we're off stream to play Final Fantasy 3, but not right now, kind of thing.
Is it like a Dragon Quest style fighting system though? Because that's what always bugged me about Final Fantasy was pick your move and you just pick the strongest move. There's like no tactics to it. It always bugged me.
Yes, it's in that same vein of RPG style. But there are tactics. It's not
okay. Because I always like tactical games because if you're moving around, you can move, different ranges of weapons, different skills, different abilities and stuff like that. Always seemed really fun to me. But just like I click attack, I click strong attack, I click extra super strong attack because I filled my meter. Like it just never appealed to me because it wasn't anything.
Final Fantasy 3 has a job system, which is really sweet.
Oh, okay.
In the sense that you can have you have a party of 4 characters, and then you build your jobs. Like you build their jobs, and as they get stronger with the jobs, they get better stats in it, kind of thing. But you can definitely build unoptimally and lose hard. For example,
go ahead.
For example, there's a part of the game where you have to have a white mage because you have to. There's a spell called Shrink, so you have to shrink your party down. But while your party is shrunk, you don't do any like physical damage because you're small, and so you have to change your entire party to magic casters. But because there's only a set amount of like spells, up until that point, you have to like distribute your spells. And so like your melee people are going to struggle hard because they don't have levels in this class. So that's why I really like it, because it's a lot of team building, and I like the team building aspect of it.
Too. Now is this white mage, red mage, fighter, thief? Okay, because do you remember that old webcomic, 8-Bit Theater?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what. As soon as you said that, I was like, oh, I know these characters because I've read like 2,000 strips of 8-Bit Theater or something.
I gotcha. But no, as the game continues on, you get access to more jobs and more jobs, different things. So you get the more powerful melee classes, but there's the trade-off of it's glass cannony, so it's super high attack, but not a lot of defense, or a lot of attack and a lot of defense, but always goes last, kind of thing, because he's super slow.
Of course.
So that I really like it a lot. But anyways, I was playing Final Fantasy 3, and there's a part in the game where you're in a lava dungeon, and as you're walking through the lava, your entire party's getting damaged. And I thought that would be super cool for a Pokemon game, because in Final Fantasy, it's very painful to deal with, because you have a set amount of potions. There's no Pokemon Center right around the corner. Like, you can't just leave and walk to a Pokemon Center. Like, yes, there are inns, but that costs money, kind of thing. And Pokemon is based off of free healthcare.
It's one of those old school games where, in order to keep you from like ending the game quickly, they had to just make the game really hard. Like, that was kind of the old school thing. They couldn't afford to make enough game So they just made what game there was really hard, so you wouldn't feel like you were cheated.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's why I had this idea, because in Pokemon that would be so devastating.
Oh yeah.
Because there's just not enough potions, and there's not the ability past potions. There's not the ability to heal your party.
Yeah.
In the world, because in Final Fantasy you could do that because your party was had like a white mage, so he could cast Cure to cure your party. But Pokemon don't really have that. They don't have the ability to, like, there's some healing moves.
They don't have angel type
outside of. They can't do it outside of a battle.
Mm-hmm.
So some Pokemon have healing moves, but they can only use it in battle, and only on like themselves.
Yeah, I'm that should be a thing. They should have angel and demon type Pokemon, and then like just I'm on this continue adding types, just 75,000 different types of Pokemon.
75,000 different types. I like it.
Yep. Only 30,000 Pokemon, but 75,000 types of Pokemon. And you're just like, whoa, man, I'm really excited. I wonder what the HDMI adapter type Pokemon is going to be like.
Ooh, I wonder what the capitalist type Pokemon is.
The capitalist type Pokemon?
In order to use any of your moves, you have to spend money. Like real money. Microtransactions.
Yeah, it's Trumpion.
Trumpion? I love it.
It's just like 75% hair.
And you're just like not convinced that the hair is its own Pokemon kind of thing?
It's its own Pokemon. That's the trick. It's like a completely different type.
It's like a parasite Pokemon, to where the Pokemon is actually Trump, or just the hair.
Yeah. I had a joke that I never got to do because I didn't wind up able to go to any open mics or anything. But I had a joke during the last election cycle. I was like, thank God for the Democrats. Like, look at the Republicans. They're running 2 Cubans and a black guy and a sentient hairpiece. Meanwhile, the Democrats are running 2 really old white people. And isn't that the foundation of American society? Like, I was just being sarcastic. It was pretty funny, but I never got to. I'm probably telling it wrong now that I think about it, but because it's been like years since I wrote that. But I just liked the line, running a sentient hairpiece. That line amused me. For our listeners, we have disavow politics. We have no feelings one way or the other. We like your candidate, and we hate the other candidate.
No. I hate everyone equally. Say again?
So I was saying, anyway, I have my actual other Pokemon gym.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a counter type. So basically, the gym members would automatically have whatever Pokemon best counters your top 6 Pokemon. So basically, you would have to figure out how to win against a team that's directly against yours. And then when you get to the final boss, he has Pokemon basically that counter all your top 10 Pokemon, because basically there would be a center so you can swap out Pokemon. But he would have, like, it would read your Pokedex, and basically anyone in your top 10 highest level Pokemon, he would basically have a type to counter it. So it'd be a really interesting battle of like figuring out how to overcome weaknesses and having to have a deeper team. Because like in a lot of games, like you said, someone gets just one really strong Pokemon, or in my old favorite game, Front Mission 3, someone would get like, 3 mechs that were just killer strong, and then the other 5 would be weak or something like that. And so I want to make it so you have to kind of have an even team, because that's what I like in these games, is like whenever I'm playing a game like with a whole bunch of characters, I will always use my weakest characters until they get stronger than my strongest ones, and then I'll use my strongest ones when they're like I almost always am using like 90% my weaker characters, because it's just something fun about like getting everyone involved and like getting all the different characters experience and stuff. I don't want to just have like one crazy powerful guy who can beat the game and then the rest of my team is lame. That's boring.
Right.
So I want to kind of create a gym that the AI is it just reads your Pokedex and your 6 highest level characters, whatever the worst matchup for him is what comes out. So it'd also be fun because you'd be switching a lot more. So the battles would be kind of longer and more strategic.
Right. See, you and I have a similar mindset. And it's actually, I got this mindset from Josh.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because when growing up at your house,
yeah,
when we were playing and Josh was playing, he showed me that how he kind of arranged his team. And ever since then, I've always arranged my team the exact same way, of where my starter would always be just a single level above everyone else. And then I'd level everyone else to be the same level as, each other. But my starter, because he's my starter, so he's my cool Pokemon, to be just a single level higher than everyone else. And then that way I stayed very balanced throughout the game, and I rarely got into a situation to where, oh shoot, my strong Pokemon are dead, I don't have any revives, I have to throw out my weak Pokemon and hope for the best. No, it's I always have that opportunity of fighting someone.
Yeah. Or just the problem of you're a Charizard and it's, I forget water, I assume. It's just a really strong water Pokemon and you're doing no damage or whatever. Just you can't, it's harder to get stuck when you have a lot of options. That's kind of how I play the games too. My main character is usually higher level just because kind of the way most games are set up. Your main character just winds up being higher level accidentally. But I do my best to kind of mitigate that. It's just more fun when you've got a bunch of random things and you can win it in any way.
Right. No, I definitely can get behind that, because I hate the idea, and this is just because when I was a kid and playing Pokemon against the other kids at school, or playing against someone who funneled all of that, all the experience into one, it made it unbeatable and made it not fun for me to play against, but not in a bad way, I guess. Like when I did win, I would just completely steamroll him, but it was just so annoying and frustrating for me, because this isn't fun. This is just, you're just stomping me.
It's almost like a pay to win in a freemium game. You're like, okay, so your character has 10 times the hit points of me. That's fine, but also it's not a game anymore. Like
nothing about this makes me want to play against you ever again.
Yeah. I like having really strong things, but like weird strong. So like you can only win by like weird underhanded tricks that don't always work. That way it's like, there's just an element of like possibility there that's fun.
I gotcha. That's why I like competitive Pokemon a fair bit. So competitive Pokemon is the actual hard mode for Pokemon, I guess, because there's different stats that Pokemon have, and competitive basically just breeds out, through the breeding system in Pokemon, breeds out the best stats in these Pokemon, so you can have really, really strong teams.
Yeah. But they're all equal strong.
Yeah, well, they're yes and no, because in competitive, every Pokemon has a role that they fill out. So the really strong attacking Pokemon are called sweepers.
Oh, that's cool.
Because what they do is they just sweep through the enemy team.
Yeah. And they sweep up Pokemon who've used up their strongest moves and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kind of ABC
almost. And so the Pokemon that are super defensively based, they're called walls. So there's two different kinds of walls. There's physical wall and special wall. So physical walls are the Pokemon that you bring in if that the opponent is going to switch into a heavy hitting physical damage Pokemon, because they have high defense stat. but then you bring in a special wall when they're going to do a special type move. So things like, because there's two different types of damage. There's either special damage or physical damage.
That's the it's kind of the equivalent of magic damage and physical damage.
Yeah, exactly that. Exactly that. And so, you have those two different types of walls, and then you have things like rockers. So they all they do is set up stealth rocks.
Set up stealth rocks. Okay, you're gonna have to explain that to me. That does
stealth rocks. What stealth rocks are they are.
That sounds like a cheap alcohol for edgy teenagers. I'm sorry, edgy 21-year-olds.
Stealth rocks are a rock type move that you put in or that you use, and what happens is whenever an opponent switches in, that Pokemon takes damage.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. By the way, they really should have like I don't know if this exists, so it quite possibly could. But it'd be cool if you could play like 3 Pokemon at once, because it would just like it would really up the level of complexity.
They can do the competitive Pokemon does different formats of yearly, like does different yearly formats, but I think it's for the past while it's been 2v2s.
Okay. 2v2 seems better. By the way, like is there a big competitive Pokemon scene? Like, is it, like $1 million to the world champion kind of thing? Like, tens of thousands of people watching it?
It's not that big. There are like thousands of people watching it, but not like tens and thousands. And I don't think like the first place guy wins like $1 million kind of thing.
Okay, so it's not like it's not considered an esport.
It's an esport, but it's not a big esport, is how I would put that.
I think of things like certain games, they have a competitive scene, but they're just clearly not designed for the competitive setup. So, but like, League of Legends or Counter-Strike, it's very, very, very easy to tell who's a pro and who's not. Versus like Pokemon, it might not be set up well enough to be able to tell exactly who's a pro and exactly who's not.
Yeah, and it is very RNG based too.
RNG?
Random number generator.
Oh yeah, that's lame. I think it would be cool if they to have a Pokemon competitive game would be amazing. Like kind of a multiplayer. I mean, it'd be really cool to do a Pokemon like a battle royale Pokemon game. So instead of a shooter, you'd just kind of be having random Pokemon battles. It couldn't be turn-based though, because you can't really do a turn-based battle royale. But
you do have a battle royale that's turn-based. It's 4 people put in Pokemon, and then you just kind of choose who you attack, kind of thing. But
that's cool.
It wasn't very popular.
It wasn't very good, probably.
Yeah.
I'm talking like since battle royales are kind of all the rage now. I'm talking about like a 99 person,
like a real battle royale.
I'm talking like Fortnite, Apex, whatever.
I gotcha.
As a Pokemon game.
Okay. Yeah, I could get into that.
Definitely be a thing. Like.
Well, I think where they need to start.
Oh, carry on.
Where they need to start is a Pokemon MMO.
Oh, duh. A Pokemon. I mean, that's as soon as I heard that, some ideas you hear them and you just like, obviously this is an idea that has existed for all of time because it is just such a duh idea. Like, how do they not have a Pokemon MMO? That seems insane.
I have no clue. Many fans have made like MMO cheap, non-supported Pokemon, but no one's actually Game Freak hasn't made an MMO yet.
It's all knockoffs. It's like your starter Pokemon is Pikachu.
No, they're actually Pokemon, but they're not. They're fan-made games, and so they have no actual support.
Yeah. Okay. That just seems like people would love that. And I mean, as far as Nintendo goes, that's leaving money on the table. People that would be that would be $100 million game. Like people would do that. They would play that all the time. And then it gives easy access to kind of the I don't mind kind of the freemium model as long as it's done in very specific ways. So like League of Legends does freemium amazingly because you can play the game. You just, if you want all the characters or if you want like special skins, you pay money. But like you can play, I've never spent any money on it and I've played it for 4 or 5 years, and enjoyed it and never felt the need. I've never even felt like bad that I haven't spent money. But like some games are just terrible when you spend money. But with the Pokemon, you could just get them. You could just sell skins and hats for your trainer and stuff like, and little outfits and stuff. So things that don't actually have anything to do with the gameplay, but make you feel like excited. Like you could have a really good freemium model, or you could do a paid model like that. It seems insane that they haven't done that.
Yeah, it is really insane that they haven't. But I absolutely would. Like, I would spend quite a bit of money. I would pay full base price, $60 for a Pokemon game.
Yeah, I mean that
would be so sweet.
I hate MMOs, but I'm not an MMO person. I'm like, I'll play Skyrim. Because the problem with MMOs to me is they're too grindy, and I just hate grinding. I'm like an anti-grinder. So, and also I usually play by myself. So there's like, by the time you have to get a party and politics become involved and stuff, I'm just like, I don't have time for this. I hate conflict. I don't want to deal with this. I don't want to like pay money to and be involved in conflict. But like the appeal is there, and like everyone I know would play that game. It would be
so sweet. Yeah, and there's no reason not to. They would just make so much money from it.
Yeah, there's legitimately no reason whatsoever that shouldn't be a thing.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm with you on that.
All right, so to recap, we're about 40 minutes in or so. So I'm gonna go ahead and recap. So what are your two recap your general idea for your 2 Pokemon gyms?
So my idea for my 2 Pokemon gyms are, one of them would be a thief gym, so where they steal items from you as you are going through the gym.
Such a cool idea.
And not just items, like steal your Pokemon too, so you have to go through the rest of the gym without the Pokemon kind of thing.
Yeah.
Or a kind of lava-based one where you would take damage over time as you stayed in the gym for longer and longer.
Yeah, so you'd have to get out in and out quickly, or
just have lots of potions and healing things.
Yeah. My 2, my serious one was a counter type where it basically reads your Pokedex, and the trainers all have counters to all your strong Pokemon. So you have to, and then the gym leader, has counter types for your top 10 Pokemon. So basically, you would have to have a well-rounded team, or you would have to be really good at kind of switching in and out and countering, like, or even if you built your team in a way that would prepare you for that. So you like built your team so each of your Pokemon counters the counter to your Pokemon. Like, I'm sure eventually strategy guides would pop up about that. And then my favorite idea, which would never happen, is the Thanos gym. Just
Thanos gym.
If you lose, 50% of the Pokemon in the game are gone. Like, there are random people in the towns that are gone. I'm sorry, there's no more professor. He's just gone.
It just goes into your game files and deletes them. No, it deletes like the champion, so you just can't beat the game.
You have to go back to the Thanos gym and keep trying to figure out a way back into it, and like it seals off the entrance. But if you eventually you have to figure out a way back in, you have to like you have to like find Kadabra so you can Doctor Strange magic your way back in.
Oh my gosh, that would be so perfect. All right. Well, it was always a pleasure. Never a pain.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and kids and adults, and dark types and steel types, and
Trumpian types, capitalism types, HDMI port types.
French toast types, all 75,000 of the Pokemon types that are eventually going to pop up.
Mm-hmm.
So listening, this is the Freaking Epic Podcast, and if you continue to listen, you will hear nothing because it will be the end. But maybe your podcast player will play the next podcast automatically, and you will think it's still us, but no, it's really just Bill Simmons